My name is Zain Lakhani. I'm the Chief AI Officer at Pendo, and we're building Novus. Novus is a product agent that automatically instruments your product to detect how users are using it. So clicks, replays, whether they're making it through funnels or not, and then we aggregate all of that data to give you insights on how to change your product. When building Novus at the beginning, the hardest part is always to tell whether the product is working or not. It's very easy to go finger to the wind and say, hey, this generally looks cool, AI is spitting out something that seems like it makes sense, but it's very hard to tell whether it's actually doing the job it was intended to do. But over time, you start to build these eval sets of, is the product working or not, right? Is the product doing what customers are actually asking for? How do we intertwine customer feedback into the problem statement? How do we change the eval sets based on what customers are giving us feedback on? The thing that we're measuring is A, did we surface the right signal? Did we surface the right insight from your product data? And B, did we suggest the right fix to it? And those are two very, very hard problems to solve at scale. So we first started using LangSmith to capture trace data. That's how I've always started using LangSmith at every company that I've been at. And it's great because it tells you at the beginning how users are using the product and lets you carve out what the use cases are, right? Rather than going to each of our design partners individually and saying, hey, how did you use the chat this week? How did you use the product this week? We go inside of our trace dashboard and say, okay, look, here are the 7 top use cases that we can see based on expanding all of these traces and seeing what the customer is asking and how the agent is responding. And quite honestly, half of the time, our agent doesn't support what the users are asking. But it's a great way for us to start building eval sets based on what they're asking and support the use cases over time. One of the main ways that we improve Novus is every morning we look at our trace dashboard to determine what customers are asking versus what we expected them to ask, and what use cases Novus supports versus what use cases they're trying on their own. And this leads to 2 very interesting situations. One is they ask unsupported use cases that effectively error out in Novus, or it spits back a response that they wouldn't expect. 60% of the time, more often than not, we catch those problems before customers do because we see how it's working at scale. We see design partner X ask a question that design partner Y would have asked the next day, and in between that gap, we add it to our eval sets to support the use case, while making sure none of the original use cases degrade in quality. For us, getting agents into POC or even production, LangChain was a great framework because it's easy to build with fast. The second part of this is once the agent does go to production, you need to know what it's doing and what people are asking. And for us, traces was that unlock. And I would say our design partner has directly scaled as a result of having observability in the platform. When we look at Pendo and Novus in the broader ecosystem of developer and PM-enabled AI tools, we see a lot of complements between LangChain and Novus. Novus instruments the product and tells you how to improve the products over time. LangSmith instruments the agents and tells you how to improve the agents over time.